I never dreamed of having an entire room for all of my games. I didn't have a lot of toys growing up, but somehow I got to this point. And it's an interesting story. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of video games, and I had nowhere to keep them. Handheld consoles have a special place in my heart, and my home consoles were frequently toted around with me to play games with friends and family. I was a master at setting up a console wherever I needed it. In high school, I had a TV that I checked out from the library for the band director, but I never returned it. Instead, I set it up in the practice room where I could skip the more boring parts of school like assemblies to play games there with friends instead. It wasn't until 2012 that I wanted a home base with my game consoles constantly set up and ready for play. I had the Wii U set up under the television, and I had one shelf for all of my Wii and Wii U games. It was here that I discovered the Retro Duo and Retro game stores. So I started collecting Super Nintendo and NES cards, but I limited myself to just the games that I grew up with as a kid. These were stored in a drawer and only brought out when they were being played. In 2013, something new happened. The Power Rangers Legacy Collection toy line was announced. I really liked Power Rangers as a kid, but I didn't have any Power Ranger toys growing up, and I thought it would be fun to get some now. With my new disposable income, I purchased some of the toys and set them out on my desk. From here, I would continue to collect video games from my childhood. I also found Big Bad Toy Store and spent too much money on Power Ranger toys, and Mega Man toys, and Amiibo, and Disney Infinity, until my family moved in 2017. Here I claimed the laundry room as a home office and purchased some shelves for my collection. This was the first time I had ever been able to arrange and display my collection. It was awesome! I tried to maximize the space by including floating shelves on the walls. The HD consoles were still hooked up to the main TV in the living room, but I had space for a tube TV in the office. Here I experimented with different acrylic cases and lighting. The point was to be accessible. It should be really easy for me to start playing any of my games without needing to set up or take down any consoles. In 2019, we moved again. This time, I claimed the unfinished basement and took my time setting up my collection. By this point, Disney Infinity had ended, Amiibo had slowed way down, and Power Rangers had moved on to the Lightning Collection. I was taking up a lot of space, so I've really limited how many more toys I'm going to add to my collection. In January of 2020, I started streaming and making videos. Then at the end of the summer of 2022, I packed it all up again so that we could finish the basement. I knew that in the end I would get a finished room that would be my home office, so I waited. Knowing that this could be the final resting place of my collection, I wanted it to be good, and this is what I came up with. And then through here, we have the office. So let's go through it. Alright, so we're going to start with the television wall. And so we've got the big television set up here with the consoles. So we got PlayStation 3 and the Wii U, some DVDs and some mini consoles over there. I do have access to this nice gap behind the TV. This little space makes for easy access when getting to the back with all the cords and whatnot. I thought this would be a good place to put the Switch, but my 2-year-old daughter has found that it also makes for a good hiding nook when you're down here trying to play with Dad's things. To maximize on space, I've added a shelf here for everything that I would need next to the television. So we can see up the top here a little charging station, so to charge controllers, the kids' Switch, and the kids' 3DS over there, along with carrying cases and whatnot. Things like capture cards and the web camera up there. Then over here on the wall we have a picture of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. And then we have this one. This represents a television show. So guess what TV show it is in the comments, and I'll reveal that later in the video. Okay, next we have the desk. I wanted the desk to be very mobile, so I just have the one wire that goes to the outlet. I can move the desk all around the room. I can slide it up against the window if I need to make some more room if people come over to play games. All of the wires are under here. It's a little hard to see, but I have a few extra outlets. This is really good if I need an outlet like in the middle of the room. And then I usually do this with 2 hands, but I think I can... That white wire is usually going out a different direction, but it closes up all nice, neat, and tidy like that. And over here we have the vintage closet. So very similar to what I had in the old space. I purposefully did not put a door on this closet So it's left open. So I have all of my vintage consoles hooked up to my tube TV here. Inside you'll find a couple of hat racks that I'm using to hang the hats that I started collecting after I started streaming. And then moving on, we have the game wall. I was able to bring back the shelves from previous rooms. They hold up the games quite nice, and I feel like it makes for a good backdrop when I'm making videos, so sometimes you'll see me in front of this wall. And then, of course, we have the feature wall. Something that I learned from the last room was to have the wall behind the shelves be black. It works really well when you have the lights and black shelves set up like I do. I was also really pleased to find after we built that all 6 shelves fit very nice and snugly along this wall. So let's go through everything real quick. So the top shelf is Power Rangers shelf. So we got the helmet, the expensive and boxed Megazords. I promise I'll take those out of the box one day. They're the only item that I have that I feel about that way. And then we have the weapons and the Rangers and their Zords. We got the Red Dragon there, the Black Frog, the White Falcon, and the Green Dragon Zord. And then ending here, we've got some Lego figures, got Mega Man X up there, some Kingdom Hearts figures, and that transition us to Mega Man. We've got the helmet up here, and then coming down a row, we have all the Mega Man figures that I have that I really like, and I promise I will get around to playing all of their games someday. And then we have the Lego NES set. And then we have this really cool Lego hat that I was gifted. Moving on, we have Mario and Sonic. We got Mario representing the NES and the Super Nintendo, and Sonic representing the Genesis. These are the wireless controllers that work with the Switch. I keep those stored up here. But they're very cool, especially when I have them all lit up like that. Over here we have Bluey. These two belong to my kids, but I snatched them for this. I'm a big fan of Bluey. If you have 4 daughters like I do, then Bluey is on almost constantly in my house, and I love it. This is set up to be kind of a background. I'll clear these 3 items off and put it up there. And it looks nice. And then over here we have the Mega Buster, and this is kind of a placeholder for a similar shot. So I'll take down the Mega Buster, put like a game cartridge or something up there, and then I can use that as a nice background. So you can see I have the light up here, you can see it reflected on the Mega Buster, and that goes, and it's housed in this rail here that goes all the way down. And you'll notice as we go along that they're kind of hidden up here now. But down here we have Amiibo. So we got the Super Mario Amiibo, we got the Shovel Knight and the Harry Potter globe there. Over here we have Splatoon and Legend of Zelda Amiibo with the Tetris blocks that do light up. You can't see them as well with the lights on. And then we have the 2 Game & Watches. These were actually a big hit in my house. I actually got them just to be collector's items that go on the shelf, but my daughters play them all the time. They love them. So here we have a bunch of different Amiibo. We got the Shovel Knight, we have Metroid, we got the Guardian there with the Kirby Amiibo and the Yarn Yoshi in the back. And here we have our Game Boy display with the Pokeball and Pokemon Red. Over here we have some Smash Amiibo set up. And we've got the progression of the handhelds. So we've got the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Advance SP, and Sword of Mana, one of my favorite games. Over here we have more Smash Amiibo set up. And we keep going to the 3DS. And behind there we have the 4 collector's Wii remotes. I mean, they're probably not collectors, but that's why I got them, was to put them on the shelf. But I do pull them down to use them from time to time, especially with the kids. As long as they're not fighting over all being the Princess Peach remote. Rounding out the remotes, we got Mario and Luigi over here, along with the Mario Kart Live. Over here real quick detour, we have a life-size Keyblade that I enjoy. Down here we have the Book of Mormon shelf. So I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and my religion is very important to me. I served a mission for 2 years, like these 2 figures, so if you see them out and about, just be nice to them. That's all I ask. Please, please. Here we have another Shovel Knight plush. And then we've got
some Kingdom Hearts 2 figures, and now we're on the Disney Infinity. So if we're moving over, we got a Blue Ranger Plus with some more Disney Infinity figures, but we also have some other figures back there. We got Darkwing Duck, Scrooge McDuck, and Chip 'n Dale. And then moving over, we've got a Green Ranger Bear, and now we've got the Star Wars Disney Infinity. Here we've got Porygon 2, one of my favorite Pokemon, and then a Rabite from the Mana series, but people frequently confuse him for a Pokemon, and a few people for a Digimon, which I understand, but it's none of those. And then we've got the Marvel Disney Infinity over here. We have a plush game from the Extra Credits channel, big fan of them, and we wrap up the Disney Infinity. And then below that we have the board games. So we've got Villainous. I have a lot of Villainous. Concept at the bottom there, very fun. This is my favorite board game. This is Forgotten Waters, where you get together a crew of 6 or 7 people and you all play together as pirates on a pirate ship. And this right here, Legends of the Hidden Temple, that is the answer to the picture that is on the wall. Big fan of Legends of the Hidden Temple, so pick that up. Great show, not a very good board game. Moving right along, we got Power Rangers DVDs, some more board games. Again, we got more Villainous and some other board games here. So we've got the Disney Infinity Power Discs, and we got the Mega Man trading card games. And then over here we have the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game that I have a lot of. The rest of my trading card games are down there. And on the bottom shelf we have some coffee table books and some textbooks, some old PC games along with some DVDs. More DVDs. We got some books down here, and we'll wrap it up over here on the end. But that is everything on the feature wall.
And that's the room tour. If you have any questions about anything you saw, please leave a comment or bring it up in a live stream. If you enjoy my story from the past, check out my memory card series, where I discuss my memories with games from the past and today. And of course, thank you for watching.